Hello and welcome, you guys. Thank you for taking the quiz and taking this next step in your journey to get in shape post-graduation. Based on your answers in the quiz, we've determined that the best guide for you would be the training guide. So in this guide, we're going to be covering exactly how to lift, exactly when to lift, exactly what you should be doing compared to what you were doing in college, and we're going to give you the full in-depth breakdown of everything you should need to know when it comes to lifting post-grad. So let's get right into it. First off, some of the core pillars of this guide is you only need 3 or 4 days a week. Anything more than that is good, but this is the minimum that you need, 3 to 4 days a week, to truly make progress. You only need to work out for 45 to 55 minutes a session. They don't have to be hour and a half long sessions, 2 hour sessions, just in and out, very quick, and you can get great results out of that. We'll also be including a full program for you based on different experience levels. So we'll have a program for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. And this program works around any single job. So no matter what your hours are, you should be able to have a time to work out through this guide and with this program. So let's head down to the first section. This kind of touches a little bit on why you fell off after graduation. One of the biggest reasons is just your daily movement and your routine. In college, you were pretty much walking everywhere and had a solid routine, and the campus gym wasn't very far away. But after you graduate, all that gets stripped away from you, and you have to start to try to navigate things on your own, and that can make it really difficult. So once you graduate, also you're going to be getting a job. So your fitness journey kind of takes a back seat, which is understandable, but this guide is all about how to start integrating it back into your routine so you can live a healthy life. So here's kind of the core standard again. 3 to 4 days a week is all you'll need. I would recommend sticking with any program that you choose for at least 12 weeks. That's kind of how long it takes to see real tangible results before you make the decision on whether or not to switch. And the best time to train, in my opinion, if you do have a job early in the morning, is 7 or 8 a.m. Training before work doesn't give you an excuse to skip after work. It's very difficult to go straight to the gym after work, especially if you have a demanding job. So if you're able to wake up a little bit earlier and go train before work, it'll put you in a great mood for the rest of the day. Here's pretty much the only thing that actually matters when it comes to working out, not just post-graduation, but for anyone, and that's consistency. You could have the perfect workout program, you could have the perfect split, everything's perfect, you're eating the perfect macros, but if you only do it for a week or two, nothing's going to happen. This is a long game. Fitness is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you have to be locked in for an extended period of time to start seeing some of those results. One rule that I really like to give to my clients is never miss 2 sessions in a row. Missing one session can just be a rest day or an anomaly, something happens, just a blip on the radar. But once you start missing 2, 3, 4 days in a row, it becomes a habit. And that's what we don't want. We want to build good habits and not fall back into those old habits. Because if you miss a week turns into a month turns into 6 months, 6 months turns into a year. So it's really important that you try not to miss 2 days in a row. Next session is just talking about training before work. So if you can, 5:30 to 7 a.m., best time to go. Gym's going to be completely empty. You're going to be able to hit whatever you want. 30 minutes in, after your lift, you can go have some breakfast and head straight to work. This is personally what I do, and it's been really good for some of my clients who are also working demanding jobs. If you can't do the mornings for whatever reason, go straight from the office. Do never, ever, ever, ever go to the gym after you go home, because you won't be going to the gym after you go home. Once you get home, you're going to want to sit down on the couch. You're going to want to do different things. You need to pack your bags before you go to work and go straight from work to the gym. This is one of the only ways that you can actually stay consistent while working a full-time schedule. And then your last resort, if for whatever reason none of these work, is to go home and then try to go after you get back from work after you go home. So evening workouts after 7 p.m. If you have a gym that's open 24 hours, that's amazing because you can go at any time. But I wouldn't recommend this being your first option. I would definitely say either go with really early in the morning or straight after your work. Those are your two best options. Now we're going to kind of get into the program side of things. So if you are a beginner, that means you've been training 0 to 6 months. The best split you can possibly be doing is full body 3 times a week. This is just to get you introduced to the lifting and introduced to the actual consistency and habit building side of things. And then once you're training for 6 months plus, we can move into this upper lower split 4 times a week. This hits pretty much every muscle group, and with the 4 times a week frequency, it's more than enough to stimulate muscle growth. So here's kind of what your upper lower split would look like if you are someone who's more intermediate. So Monday would be your push day, Tuesday would be your lower body day, take Wednesday off. You do pull on Thursday, and then Friday would be your last lower body day. And then Saturday you can go out, do whatever you want. Sunday is just a rest reset day. Here's a couple of examples of some workouts. You can go through these on your own. Pretty standard, good workouts. And then in terms of training for your goal, so no matter what your goal is, you need to eat around it. So whether you want to build muscle, whether you want to lose fat, whether you want to just recomp your body and do both of them, you can be training as much as you want, but if you're not eating with the right strategy, nothing's going to happen. So if you're looking to build muscle, you need to be eating 200 to 300 calories over your maintenance calories. So if you burn 2,200 calories in a day on average, just by going to work and existing, you need to be eating 2,500 calories with enough protein to actually start to put on some muscle. Same thing goes if you're wanting to lose fat. If you burn 2,200 calories as your maintenance, you need to be eating, 300 to 500 calories below that and still getting enough protein. So the lifting that you're doing will pay dividends, and the calorie deficit will help you lose the weight. Same thing if you are looking to recomp your body. So if you're looking to gain muscle and lose fat kind of at the same time, it's going to be a slower process. You just need to eat right around your maintenance. So if you burn 2,200 calories a day, eat 2,200 calories, keep your protein high, and you'll be able to do a really good body recomposition. Another thing, one of the most common mistakes that I see is when people start eating in a deficit to lose weight, they switch to very high rep low weight training. So they're not pushing as hard as they were in the gym, which makes it really difficult to keep some of that muscle that you're working really hard for in the gym. So if you're trying to lose weight and you are eating in a deficit, keep your training the same, because this will allow you to basically keep all that muscle that you're building while losing the fat at the same time. This is the best thing you can do. Don't change your training no matter how much you're eating, no matter what approach you're taking. Next, we're just going to get quickly into the cardio side of things. I get asked all the time about what the best cardio is to do. Should I be doing cardio? I hate doing cardio. Do I have to do cardio? And my opinion on cardio hasn't changed for a while. I think the best form of cardio you can do is just a walk. Like walk after dinner, walk after work, walk before work, walk your dog. That is the only form of cardio that I personally do besides martial arts. But I feel like a brisk walk is perfect. Not only does it clear your head and give you a chance to think, but you also get your steps in without crushing your body, and you won't be very hungry afterwards. If you go on a 3-mile run, you're going to be pretty hungry afterwards. If you go on a brisk walk, you're going to get some steps in, maybe burn 200 or 300 calories, but you won't have those immediate cravings afterwards, which will help save your deficit. If you are someone who's a bit more active though, a bike or a light jog can be a good option, but if you're truly a beginner, I recommend sticking with the brisk walk. Next, we're going to be talking about the recovery. So these are three pretty important principles that you have to follow when it comes to your recovery, and to maximize the most out of your training, these are things that you have to follow. So you should be eating protein after every single session. So as soon as you finish your lifting window, I believe you have 45 minutes to an hour to get some protein in. People say it's bro science, but I kind of believe it, to be honest with you. I think you have to get some sort of protein into your body within 40 to 45 minutes to an hour of finishing your lift to maximize your results. Next, obviously, everyone's heard it, sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. If you're working a job that starts at 4 a.m., that might be a little bit more difficult, but if you're working a typical 9 to 5, you should be able to do that. Just put your phone down earlier and get to sleep. And then lastly is just to move on rest days. So this kind of ties into the walk that we were talking about. So take a walk on Saturday and Sunday if you don't have a lift planned. Make sure that you're doing some form of daily movement every single day and you're not just sitting for an entire day, because that can pretty much reverse the progress that you've been making. One more thing is every 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to feel a little bit more burnt out in the gym. Your reps are going to start to feel a little bit more sluggish. Your sets are going to be feeling difficult, and maybe you're like, I don't really want to go to the gym. That's probably a good time to take a deload week. So a deload week is you just drop all the weight of your normal sets and of your normal reps to 60%. So if you do, you know, if you're lifting 20 85s on the dumbbell bench press, you just take that down all the way down, do an easy number, do like 35s, just so you can hit the exercise and give your body a chance to recover. Deload weeks are very crucial, and once you do them and put them into your program, you're going to notice a massive improvement. Let's see, creatine, great supplement to take. I'll let you kind of read that one on your own. Kind of goes back to the core tenets: never miss 2 days in a row. Lower the bar on your worst days. So if you're having a bad day at work or you just don't feel like going to the gym that day, hit 2 workouts, hit 2 body parts. You can hit lat pull down and bicep curl as a pull day and then leave the gym. Like, it can be a 15 to 20 minute session. It doesn't have to be perfect every single time. You just have to maintain the habit of showing up. And then, yeah, train regardless of where you are. So if you're traveling for work or if you have something else going on, if you're out of town, push-ups in your room are always an option. Sit-ups in your room, always a good option. Just make sure that you're doing something to keep that habit and keep the consistency that we've been building. And yeah, here are just the 4 things that pretty much move the needle. So show up consistently every single week, every single day, every time that you're scheduled to lift. Make sure you get your lift in at that time. This is a big one. So progressive overload every session. I don't think we touched on this yet, so I'm going to take a little bit more time to dive into this. So you want to be progressively overloading your lifts every single session. If you can do 25 pounds on a bicep curl today, in a week, try to do 30 pounds. In 2 weeks, if you can do 30 pounds consistently, in 2 weeks, try to do 35 pounds. You should be looking to add 3 to 5 pounds to all your core lifts every single week. This is how you can actually push your body, and this will stimulate the most possible muscle growth. So it's super, super, super important. I cannot stress this enough, to be progressively overloading your lifts. You cannot just be doing the same weight over and over and over again every single week. You have to be doing a slight bump and increase. And even if you fail, if you try to go 5 pounds up and you fail, go 2 pounds up. You should have to be slightly increasing. And then when you really, really, really can't increase anymore, that's either 1, your floor, or it's time to take that deload week. but really put an emphasis on progressively overloading all your sessions. Third, in terms of your protein, I'm sure you already know it, you should be eating 0.7 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 180 pounds, ideally you should be shooting for 180 grams of protein a day, but if that sounds like a bit much to you, pretty hard to maintain, I would say anywhere in the 140 to 150 range can do the job. You just need to calculate your body weight, so just do 0.7 times 180, and whatever that number is, try to get somewhere close to that number every single day. And there we go. That's pretty much what I have in terms of the training guide. It's more in depth when you look and go and read through everything on your own, but that was just a quick recap. If you have any questions, um, just you can go ahead and go back to my landing page and we can book a one-on-one plan building Zoom. So basically we'll jump on a Zoom together. We can go over any questions that you might have and I'll kind of build out a plan around your life and hopefully give you some value that you can take and start applying immediately. And if you are interested in working with me one-on-one directly, we can also discuss that further on the call. So if you're interested in that, if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to head back to my landing page and book a one-on-one plan building Zoom call, and we can get straight to building out your plan and helping you achieve your goals. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you watched the end, I really appreciate you using the guide and taking the quiz, and I hope that this provided some value to you and is a resource that can help you in the future. God bless.